Have you ever wondered how one planet can feel like four completely different worlds? In Australia, the land feels ancient, like it remembers something we don't. Red deserts stretch forever. Waves crash against dramatic cliffs, and beneath the ocean, an entire living kingdom glows with color. Then suddenly, you're in the Philippines, where mornings begin with golden sunlight over rice terraces, and afternoons fade into turquoise waters so clear they almost look unreal. It's raw, vibrant, alive. Travel north to Norway, and everything slows down. Mountains rise straight out of glass, like fjords. Waterfalls fall endlessly, and at night, the sky itself begins to dance. And then there's Germany, where fairy tale castles sit on misty hills, forests feel pulled from legend, and cities blend old world charm with unstoppable modern energy. For countries, for completely different atmospheres. One journey that proves how wildly beautiful and unpredictable our world really is. This isn't just travel. This is wonder in its purest form.
What if I told you that the land you think you know, kangaroos, beaches, koalas, holds mysteries so ancient, landscapes so surreal, and stories so untold that even lifelong travelers leave speechless? Imagine a country where the ground itself is older than the mountains of America, where coral reefs stretch further than the eye can see, where deserts glow red under galaxies untouched by city lights, and where cities buzz with life only minutes away from untouched wilderness. That land is Australia. But here's the thing. Most people who think of Australia picture just Sydney Opera House, Bondi Beach, maybe the Great Barrier Reef. And yes, they're iconic, but the real wonder of Australia lies in the hidden gems, the staggering diversity, and the emotional stories each place holds. Over the next few minutes, let me take you on a journey across Australia like you've never seen before. We'll go beyond postcards and Instagram clichés. We'll explore ancient rocks that whisper secrets of the Earth's creation, reefs so alive they pulse with colors beyond imagination, and towns where time moves slower, reminding us of what it means to simply live. So, buckle up, because this isn't just a travel guide. This is Australia in 4K, alive, ancient, and utterly unforgettable. Before we dive into the journey, let's warm up with a few surprising fun facts about this land that often slip under the radar. These will set the stage for the wonders ahead. Fun facts about Australia. Fun fact 1: the world's oldest living culture. Australia is home to the world's oldest continuous culture, the Aboriginal people. Their traditions, art, and knowledge date back at least 65,000 years, making them not just Australia's original inhabitants but also storytellers of the Earth's earliest human history. Imagine that. While pyramids in Egypt are just a few thousand years old, Aboriginal rock art in Australia has been painted and preserved for tens of thousands of years. That's not just history. It's living time travel. Fun fact 2: it's bigger than you think. Most people underestimate Australia's size. On a map, it looks like just another country. But here's a perspective. You could fit the entire United States, minus Alaska, into Australia's landmass. It's so vast that flying from Sydney on the east coast to Perth on the west coast takes about 5 hours, the same as flying from New York to Los Angeles. Fun fact 3 or more. Beaches than days in a year. If you love beaches, you'll never run out of them here. Australia has over 10,000 beaches. If you visited one beach every single day, It would take you over 27 years to see them all. Imagine 27 years of waking up every day on a new shore. Fun fact: 4 nature's most deadly and most adorable. Australia has a reputation for dangerous creatures. Yes, some of the deadliest snakes, spiders, and jellyfish live here. But it's also home to the most adorable marsupials you'll ever meet: koalas, quokkas, and kangaroos. It's almost like Australia said, let's balance out danger with pure cuteness. Fun fact 5: the pink lakes. Yes, pink. Australia has multiple lakes that turn bubblegum pink due to natural algae reactions, Lake Hillier being the most famous. From above, it looks like someone spilled a giant strawberry milkshake in the middle of the wilderness. Fun fact 6: starry skies like nowhere else. In Australia's remote outback, you'll see stars like never before. The Milky Way isn't just a faint band, it's so bright, it feels like a cosmic river flowing above you. Astronomers call it one of the best stargazing spots on Earth, and many indigenous stories are woven around these constellations, passed down for millennia. Place 1: the Great Barrier Reef. A living cathedral beneath the waves. If Earth had a crown, one of its brightest jewels would surely be the Great Barrier Reef. Stretching for more than 1,400 miles along Australia's northeast coast, it's not just the world's largest coral reef system, it's the largest living structure on the planet. Yes, you heard that right. The reef is so massive that it can be seen from space, like a glowing blue scar etched into the ocean. But let's pause for a second and look beyond the statistics. Imagine descending into its waters for the first time. The moment your mask breaks the surface, you're entering a different universe, one where every color feels dialed up, every shape seems alive. Schools of neon fish dart through coral arches like city commuters rushing through subway tunnels. Giant clams with mouths big enough to swallow your hand yawn lazily on the seafloor, their lips glowing shades of purple and turquoise you didn't even know existed in nature. And then out of nowhere, a green sea turtle glides past, as if it's been swimming these same waters for centuries. In fact, it has. Some turtles here are known to live more than 80 years, returning to the exact same nesting beaches their ancestors used. The reef itself is a living library. Scientists believe it holds cures for diseases we haven't even discovered yet. Coral species, sponges, and marine microorganisms could one day be the key to treating cancer, Alzheimer's, or even the next global pandemic. It's as if the reef is both a natural wonder and a medical treasure chest. But here's the paradox. While it's one of the world's most stunning ecosystems, it's also one of the most fragile. Rising ocean temperatures and human impact threaten its survival. To swim through its waters today feels like stepping into a cathedral, majestic, sacred, but also a place you know must be protected at all costs. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, who have lived along the reef for thousands of years, see it not just as nature, but as kin. To them, it's a living relative, something to honor, respect, and preserve. Their stories say that every coral, every fish, every wave has its place in the dream time, the sacred time of creation. For visitors, the experience can be life-changing. One traveler once described diving into the reef as like falling into a kaleidoscope that never ends. And when you resurface, gasping in the salty air, you realize that this isn't just a place. It's a reminder that Earth is alive, that beauty can be infinite, and that some wonders are so big they can never truly be captured in photos or words. The Great Barrier Reef isn't just a destination, it's an emotion. Place 2: Uluru, Australia's Sacred Heart in the Red Desert. If the Great Barrier Reef is Australia's beating blue heart, then Uluru, the colossal sandstone monolith rising out of the desert in the Northern Territory, is its fiery red soul. Picture this: you are driving across a flat, endless desert where the horizon seems to stretch forever. The land feels empty, quiet, and timeless. Then, suddenly, out of nowhere, Uluru appears. A massive rock, nearly 1,150 feet tall and more than 5 miles around, emerging from the desert like a sleeping giant. Its sheer size takes your breath away. But it's not just the size, it's the way it changes. At sunrise, it glows gold. By midday, it shifts to a rusty red. And as the sun dips low, it burns a deep crimson, almost as if the earth itself were on fire. Locals call this transformation the Uluru Light Show, but it feels more like a living heartbeat pulsing through stone. To the Anangu people, the traditional custodians of the land, Uluru isn't just a rock. It's a sacred site, a living, breathing entity tied to the dreamtime, the Aboriginal creation stories. Every crack, cave, and curve on its surface carries meaning. There are ancient paintings etched into its caves that tell stories passed down for tens of thousands of years. To walk near Uluru isn't just sightseeing, it's entering a spiritual landscape that connects humans to the dawn of existence. What's fascinating is that scientists believe Uluru formed more than 550 million years ago, before dinosaurs even roamed the earth. Yet for the Anangu, its significance isn't in millions of years, but in timelessness. They say Uluru has always been there, and always will be. One of the most powerful experiences visitors describe is standing in silence at its base during twilight. The desert is still, the air cools, and suddenly the stars emerge. With no city lights for hundreds of miles, the night sky above Uluru becomes one of the clearest in the world. The Milky Way arcs over the great monolith like a silver river, making you feel both small and infinite at the same time. But Uluru also carries an important lesson. For years, tourists climbed it like a mountain. But to the Anangu, climbing Uluru was deeply disrespectful. It would be like walking into a cathedral and clambering up the altar. In 2019, after decades of requests from indigenous elders, climbing Uluru was finally banned. And in that moment, Australia reminded the world, travel isn't just about places, it's about respect, about understanding that some wonders are sacred. Standing before Uluru is like standing in front of the earth's memory. It is silent, yet it speaks. It is still, yet it moves you. And once you've seen it glow under the desert sun, you carry that light with you forever. Place number 3, the Whitsunday Islands, a tropical dream between reef and sky. Imagine flying over the ocean in a small plane. Below you, the water shifts from deep sapphire blue to bright turquoise, and then suddenly, like a brushstroke on a canvas, you see it, swirls of white sand twisting and folding into the sea, like marble patterns drawn by the hand of nature itself. This is the Whitsunday Islands, a cluster of 74 tropical islands sitting right at the edge of the Great Barrier Reef in Queensland. They are often called Australia's version of paradise, but that feels like an understatement. These islands aren't just beautiful, they are dreamlike, surreal, the kind of place where reality feels softer, lighter, almost painted. The crown jewel is Whitehaven Beach, often ranked as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Its sand isn't just white, it's made of 98% pure silica, so fine it squeaks beneath your feet like fresh snow. On a sunny day, it reflects light so brightly it feels as though the beach itself is glowing. But what makes Whitehaven unforgettable is the tide. As the ocean rises and falls, it pushes the sand into swirling patterns, creating a natural artwork that's never the same twice. From above, it looks like the earth has taken a paintbrush and decided to play. But here's what most people don't realize. The Whitsundays aren't just beaches, they're an ecosystem of rare beauty. Between the islands, manta rays glide like living kites, humpback whales migrate during the winter months, and sea eagles soar overhead, scanning the turquoise waters for fish. You can sail for days between the islands and find yourself anchoring at a beach where not a single footprint exists but your own. And there's history. Shoo! The Whitsundays are deeply significant to the local Nagro people, who lived among these islands for thousands of years. Archaeological sites here reveal one of the oldest seafaring cultures in human history. Imagine navigating between these islands in bark canoes long before modern maps or compasses, knowing the tides, the stars, and the winds as intimately as we know our GPS today. Today, sailing through the Whitsundays has become a kind of rite of passage for travelers. Some describe it as living inside a screensaver, others as sailing through a dream you never want to wake up from. Whether you are snorkeling in a hidden bay, watching the sunset from a yacht deck, or simply lying on the sand, with nothing but the sound of the waves, there's something about these islands that slows time. And perhaps that's the true wonder of the Whitsundays. It's not just their beauty, it's their ability to remind us that sometimes, life is meant to be savored slowly. Out here, surrounded by endless sea and sky, you are reminded that the world is still capable of giving us moments that feel pure, untouched, and eternal. Place number 4, Kakadu National Park, a land of ancient rock art and crocodile rivers. Step into Kakadu National Park, and it's like stepping into a living time capsule. Stretching over 7,600 square miles in the Northern Territory, it's not just Australia's largest national park, it's a world within a world, a place where every corner whispers both danger and wonder. The first thing that hits you is the scale. Endless wetlands stretch to the horizon, broken by dramatic escarpments, sheer cliffs rising like ancient fortresses above the green. Waterfalls tumble down red rocks into hidden pools, while vast billabongs shimmer in the heat, filled with lilies so delicate they look like floating porcelain. But make no mistake, this is crocodile country. Saltwater crocodiles, the largest reptiles on Earth, rule these waters. Some grow over 20 feet long, with jaws strong enough to crush bone. Seeing one in the wild isn't like spotting an animal on safari, it's like meeting a relic of the dinosaur age, alive and waiting just beneath the surface. Locals say, if the water looks good enough to swim in, it's probably good enough for a crocodile chew. That's Kakadu, beautiful, but edged with danger. Yet Kakadu isn't just about wildlife. It's also one of the most important cultural landscapes on the planet. The Aboriginal people have lived here for more than 65,000 years, making it one of the oldest continuous human settlements on Earth. And they've left their mark, literally, on the rocks. Scattered across the cliffs are thousands of pieces of ancient rock art. At Ubir and Nerlangi, ochre paintings cover stone walls like open-air galleries. Some depict hunting scenes, kangaroos, turtles, and fish drawn with intricate detail. Others show spirits from the dreamtime, their bodies painted in X-ray style, with bones and organs visible. And then there are paintings of ships, evidence that Aboriginal artists recorded the arrival of Europeans hundreds of years ago. Standing in front of these artworks is haunting. These aren't just paintings, they are messages across time. Imagine someone, 20,000 years ago, grinding ochre pigment, painting their world, never knowing that millennia later, strangers from across the ocean would stand in awe before their creation. But Kakadu isn't frozen in the past. It's alive. Every wet season, when monsoon rains flood the plains, the park transforms. Rivers swell, waterfalls thunder, and the land becomes a mosaic of life, birds by the thousands, fish surging through flooded forests, crocodiles sliding through rising waters. Then, as the dry season returns, the land shrinks back, waterholes become lifelines, and the cycle begins again. It's no wonder UNESCO lists Kakadu not once, but twice, for both its natural and cultural significance. Few places on Earth carry this much meaning. For visitors, Kakadu feels like being let into a secret, one that's both beautiful and humbling. It teaches you that nature is not something to tame, but something to respect. It shows you that human history is not measured in centuries, but in tens of thousands of years. And it reminds you that the land itself is a storyteller, older and wiser than we can ever comprehend. Kakadu isn't just a national park. It's Australia's memory carved in stone and water.
Place 5. The 12 Apostles. Nature's stone giants along the Great Ocean Road. Drive along Australia's southern coast, just a few hours from Melbourne, and you'll find yourself on a stretch of road so breathtaking that it's often called one of the world's most scenic drives, the Great Ocean Road. It twists and turns above cliffs where the Southern Ocean pounds endlessly against the shore, and around every bend, the view gets better. But nothing prepares you for what's waiting near Port Campbell, the legendary 12 Apostles. Picture this. Massive limestone pillars rising straight out of the ocean, like sentinels guarding the coast. Each one stands anywhere between 150 to 200 feet tall, carved over millions of years by the relentless power of wind and waves. They look eternal, but the truth is, they're fragile. In fact, despite their name, there were never exactly 12. Some have already collapsed back into the sea, leaving only 8 still standing today. Nature is still sculpting, still deciding which will remain and which will fall. Standing on the viewing platform at sunset, the sight is surreal. The cliffs glow orange, the sea foams white, and the apostles themselves turn gold in the fading light. The sound of the ocean crashing below echoes like a heartbeat, and you realize you're looking at a landscape that is both powerful and temporary. But the Great Ocean Road isn't just about scenery, it's about history too. This 150-mile stretch was actually built by returning soldiers after World War I as a memorial to their fallen comrades. So when you drive it, you're not just seeing a road, you're traveling along the world's largest war memorial, built by hand as a tribute to resilience and sacrifice. And the coastline hides even more secrets. Just nearby is Lockard Gorge, a natural cove named after a shipwreck in 1878. Only 2 survivors washed up on that beach, a teenage cabin boy and a young woman. Their story became legend, retold for generations. Walking down into the gorge today, with sheer cliffs towering around you, you can almost hear the echoes of waves that once carried those survivors to safety. The 12 Apostles are a reminder of nature's artistry and its impermanence. Geologists say the same forces that created them will one day destroy them. The ocean is patient and time always wins. Yet, in that fleeting window of human life, to stand before them is to witness something deeply humbling. Beauty born from destruction, permanence carved from fragility. And maybe that's why the 12 Apostles captivate travelers from around the world. They aren't just rocks. They are monuments to time, sculpted by the sea, and destined one day to return to it.
Place number 6, the Daintree Rainforest, where the jungle meets the reef. Far up in tropical North Queensland lies a place where time feels broken, where the world as we know it pauses, and you step into something ancient, green, and endlessly alive. This is the Daintree Rainforest, the oldest living rainforest on the planet. Scientists estimate it's been growing here for over 180 million years, tens of millions of years older than the Amazon. Walking into the Daintree is like walking into the Earth's memory. Giant ferns unfurl like green umbrellas, vines twist like serpents around towering trees, and strange calls echo from the canopy above. The air is thick, damp, and sweet with the smell of wet soil and leaves. And everywhere you look, life is bursting. Butterflies the size of your hand, birds in dazzling colors, frogs calling from hidden pools. But the Daintree's true magic lies in its secrets. This rainforest is a living museum of evolution, home to plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. Here you can see the cassowary, a giant, flightless bird often called the guardian of the rainforest. With its bright blue head, helmet-like casque, and powerful legs, it looks like something left over from the dinosaur age. And in a way, it is. The cassowary plays a vital role in spreading seeds that keep the forest alive, a cycle that has been happening for millions of years. And then there's the crocodiles. Yes, the same saltwater crocs that rule Kakadu also patrol the rivers here. Taking a boat ride along the Daintree River, you'll see their armored backs breaking the surface as they silently watch from the mangroves. It's thrilling, and a reminder that this forest is wild in every sense of the word. What makes the Daintree truly unique, though, is where it ends. Unlike most rainforests, which stop at mountains or rivers, the Daintree flows all the way down to the sea. And not just any sea, the Great Barrier Reef. Nowhere else in the world due to World Heritage sites literally meet. You can stand barefoot on the sand at Cape Tribulation, and behind you the rainforest hums with ancient life, while in front of you the coral reef stretches into the horizon. It's as if two different worlds, the jungle and the ocean, shake hands here. But the Daintree isn't just about age or beauty. It's also a reminder of resilience. For decades, large sections of it were logged, cleared, and threatened. Yet, thanks to conservation and indigenous leadership, much of it has been protected. The Kuku Yalangji people, who have called this forest home for thousands of years, share Dreamtime stories that explain how the forest was created and why every creature in it has a role. To them, the Daintree is more than nature. It's a living relative, a teacher. Visitors often describe the Daintree as overwhelming, not in size, but in presence. Standing under a tree that has been alive for 3,000 years, you can't help but feel small, but in the best way. You realize you are not just walking in a forest, you are walking inside the heartbeat of Earth itself. The Daintree is proof that the world's oldest places aren't stuck in the past. They're still alive, still teaching us, and still breathtakingly beautiful.
Place number 7, Sydney Harbour, where city and sea dance together. When people think of Australia, one image almost always comes to mind: the shimmering white sails of the Sydney Opera House, rising above the water like a fleet of futuristic ships, set against the steel arch of the harbour bridge. And it's true, Sydney Harbour is one of the most instantly recognizable cityscapes in the world. But what makes it truly special isn't just the architecture. It's the way city and sea blend here so seamlessly that you sometimes forget where one ends and the other begins. Imagine standing on Circular Quay at sunrise. The first light hits the Opera House, turning its tiles golden, while ferries glide across the water carrying commuters who seem to sail to work instead of drive. Seagulls wheel above, yachts bob gently in the marina, and beyond the bustle, the vast Pacific Ocean stretches out, just a short sail away. Few cities can claim a harbor this alive, this dynamic, this breathtaking. But Sydney Harbour is more than a postcard. It's enormous, spanning about 150 miles of shoreline with more than 30 square miles of water. Tucked along its edges are hidden coves, secret beaches, and pockets of wilderness that feel miles away from the city. You can kayak past towering skyscrapers one moment and find yourself landing on a quiet, sandy beach the next. For the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the harbour has always been a source of life, food, and culture. Long before the first ships arrived from Britain, the Gadigal fished these waters, told stories about the tides, and celebrated the harbour as part of their dream time, the spiritual time of creation. Their connection reminds us that Sydney Harbour isn't just modern. It's ancient, layered with thousands of years of history. And then there's the bridge, an engineering marvel nicknamed the Coat Hanger. When it opened in 1932, it was the world's largest steel arch bridge, and it still holds a powerful presence today. But here's something most tourists don't know. You can actually climb it. Imagine strapping on a harness and slowly ascending its curved spine. As you rise, the city spreads out beneath you. Skyscrapers, opera house, ferries crisscrossing the blue water. By the time you reach the summit, 440 feet above the harbor, the view is so vast it feels like flying. Sydney Harbor is also a stage. Every New Year's Eve, it explodes into one of the most famous fireworks displays in the world, watched live by over 1 billion people across the globe. But even without the fireworks, the harbor has a kind of magic. On a quiet evening, when the sun sets behind the bridge and the lights of the city begin to twinkle, the water reflects everything, sky, buildings, stars, so that the city itself seems doubled, half on land, half floating on the waves. What makes Sydney Harbor a wonder isn't just its beauty, it's its balance. It's a reminder that a city doesn't have to smother nature. Sometimes it can dance with it. And in Sydney's case, the dance is unforgettable.
Place number 8, Tasmania's wilderness, the edge of the world. Tasmania, often just called Tassie by Australians, might be small compared to the mainland, but don't let its size fool you. Nearly half of this island is protected wilderness, and much of it is so ancient, so wild, it feels like stepping into a time before humans. UNESCO calls it one of the last great temperate wilderness areas on Earth, and once you are there, you understand why. Imagine hiking through forests where giant trees rise like skyscrapers. Some of them are Huon pines, living for over 2,000 years, their roots reaching back to the time of the Roman Empire. Others are eucalyptus trees so tall they rival California's redwoods, their trunks disappearing into the clouds. Beneath the canopy, moss carpets the ground in thick green velvet, and streams rush cold and clear, as if bottled straight from the dawn of creation. But Tasmania's wilderness isn't just forests. Drive to the west coast, and you'll find the Tarkine, a vast stretch of rainforest that feels primeval. Or head to the Southwest National Park, where jagged peaks, glacial lakes, and wild rivers look like something torn straight from fantasy landscapes in Lord of the Rings. In fact, many filmmakers use Tasmania as a backdrop because it feels untouched, cinematic, larger than life. And then there's the coastline. At the Bay of Fires, white sand beaches stretch for miles, interrupted by giant boulders stained orange by lichen, glowing as if they've been set on fire by the sun. In contrast, the southern cliffs near Cape Raoul rise sheer out of the sea like giant organ pipes, battered day and night by waves that have traveled thousands of miles across the Southern Ocean with nothing to slow them down. Locals call this stretch the Roaring Forties, because the winds howl in from Antarctica, bringing raw power that sculpts both sea and land. But perhaps the most haunting place in Tasmania is its dark sky reserves. In many parts of the island, the night is so clear, you can see the Milky Way blazing overhead. And if you are lucky, you might even witness the aurora australis, the southern lights. Waves of green, purple, and pink shimmer across the sky, reminding you that this isn't just the edge of the world, it's the edge of the cosmos. Place number 9, the Pinnacles of Western Australia, a desert of stone guardians. Travel about 120 miles north of Perth, and suddenly, the landscape begins to change. The eucalyptus trees thin out, the air grows drier, and then you arrive in the Nambang National Park. What greets you is something that looks like it belongs on another planet, the Pinnacles Desert. Here, scattered across the golden sands, stand thousands of limestone pillars, some just a few feet high, others towering nearly 15 feet. They stretch as far as the eye can see, jagged, sharp, or smooth, each one shaped uniquely by wind and time. Walking among them feels like wandering through a city of stone, where nature itself has become the architect. But what exactly are they? Scientists believe the pinnacles were formed tens of thousands of years ago when seashells, rich in calcium, were blown inland and compacted into limestone. Over time, wind and rain eroded the softer material, leaving behind these airy towers. It's geology's slow magic, a process so gradual you can't see it happening, yet the result is spectacular. At sunrise and sunset, the pinnacles glow in hues of gold and red, casting long shadows across the desert floor. And at night, under the clear skies of Western Australia, the desert transforms again. With almost no light pollution, the Milky Way stretches like a shimmering highway above the stone spires. The effect is otherworldly, like walking on Mars, but under a galaxy that feels close enough to touch. But the pinnacles aren't just a scientific curiosity. For the Ute people, the local Aboriginal community, this desert is a sacred place. Their stories describe these formations as spirits of ancestors, guardians standing watch over the land. To wander here isn't just to see geology, it's to step into a landscape heavy with meaning, one where every stone is a storyteller. Visitors often describe feeling a strange energy here. The silence is profound, no birds, no rivers, just the whisper of wind across sand. Every footstep crunches loudly, every shadow feels alive. Some travelers say it's beautiful but eerie, almost like walking through the ruins of a forgotten civilization. And maybe that's why the pinnacles resonate so deeply. They remind us that nature is the greatest sculptor, capable of creating landscapes that rival human imagination. Place number 10, the Blue Mountains, Australia's misty kingdom of stone and sky. Head west from Sydney, and within 2 hours you arrive at a place that feels like stepping into another world, the Blue Mountains. Stretching across 1 million hectares of wilderness, this vast plateau of sandstone cliffs, waterfalls, and eucalyptus forests is one of Australia's most enchanting escapes. Why are they called the Blue Mountains? It's not just poetry, it's science. The eucalyptus trees that blanket the valleys release tiny droplets of oil into the air. When sunlight hits these particles, it scatters blue light, creating a shimmering hedge that makes the entire landscape glow with a soft, dreamlike blue. From a distance, the mountains look like they've been painted with watercolor. The centerpiece of this wonder is the famous rock formation known as the Three Sisters, 3 towering sandstone pillars that rise above the Jameson Valley. According to Aboriginal legend, they were once 3 sisters turned to stone by a protective elder during a tribal battle, and they remain frozen in place to this day, a symbol of strength, resilience, and family. Standing on the Echo Point lookout, with the 3 sisters in the foreground and the valley stretching endlessly behind them, it's a view that stirs something deep inside. But the Blue Mountains aren't just about what you see, they're about what you feel. Hike down into the valleys, and the modern world disappears. Trails lead you through forests of towering eucalyptus, where the smell of crushed leaves lingers in the cool air. You pass waterfalls tumbling into fern-filled glens, caves hidden in cliff walls, and lookout points where hawks ride the thermals rising from the valley floor. It feels timeless, like the land is breathing slowly, patiently, unconcerned with the rush of human life. And then there's the Jenolan Caves, some of the oldest open caves in the world, formed over 340 million years ago. Inside, crystal formations glisten like chandeliers, underground rivers echo in the darkness, and chambers stretch so vast they feel like cathedrals carved by Earth itself. Exploring them is like descending into the planet's secret heart. For the Gundungurra and Darug people, the Blue Mountains are far more than scenic, they are sacred. The valleys and cliffs hold dreamtime stories that explain how the land was created and why it must be cared for. To walk these trails with that perspective is to understand that you are not just a visitor, you are stepping into a living story that began long before you and will continue long after. At sunset, when the last light hits the sandstone cliffs and the valleys turn deep blue beneath the rising mist, the Blue Mountains feel like a dream you don't want to wake from. They are not just a wonder of Australia, they are a reminder that sometimes the greatest beauty lies just beyond the city, waiting quietly in the mountains. So there we have it. From the neon underwater cathedrals of the Great Barrier Reef to the sacred red glow of Uluru, from the drifting sands of the Whitsundays to the crocodile rivers of Kakadu, from the stone giants of the 12 Apostles to the ancient breath of the Daintree rainforest, from the sparkling fusion of city and sea in Sydney Harbour to the wild edge of the world in Tasmania, from the otherworldly guardians of the pinnacles to the misty valleys of the Blue Mountains, Australia isn't just one place. It is many worlds, stitched together on a single island continent.
What if I told you that there exists a country made of more than 7,600 islands, where mountains breathe fire, seas glow in the dark, rivers sing with enchantment, and ancient tribes still whisper secrets from the dawn of time? A place where you can stand on the edge of a volcano in the morning, dive into coral kingdoms by noon, and watch a sunset so breathtaking it feels like nature itself is applauding? That place is the Philippines. Most travelers think of beaches when they hear the name. White sand, turquoise waters, a cocktail in hand, and yes, those beaches are real, and they're heavenly. Before we set off on our adventure, let's pause for some jaw-dropping fun facts about this island nation. Fun facts about the Philippines. Fact 1. The text capital of the world. Did you know Filipinos send over 400 million text messages every day? That's more than the US and Europe combined. The country even earned the nickname, text capital of the world. It's not just technology, it's culture. In the Philippines, texting is an art of connection, love, and humor. Fact 2. The only place with a tarsier, in the jungles of Bohol lives one of the tiniest primates on Earth, the Philippine tarsier. Its eyes are bigger than its brain, and it looks like a cross between Yoda and a furball. And here's the twist, they're older, evolutionarily speaking, than monkeys and apes. Fact 3. Underground river wonder. The Philippines is home to the world's longest navigable underground river in Palawan. Imagine drifting on a boat into a cave so vast, it feels like entering the veins of the earth itself. Fact 4. Jeepneys, rolling art. The Philippines reinvented U.S. military jeeps left after World War II into dazzling, colorful buses called jeepneys, painted with superheroes, religious icons, and neon flames. These rolling artworks are the soul of Filipino streets. Fact 5. A volcano inside a lake inside a volcano. On Luzon Island sits Tall Volcano, one of the only volcanoes in the world with this insane setup, a volcano inside a lake inside a volcano. Nature here doesn't just stop at impressive, it shows off. Fact 6. The world's smelliest people, and perhaps the best fun fact? Despite challenges, Filipinos consistently rank among the happiest people in the world. Ask any traveler, and they'll tell you, the smiles here are just as unforgettable as the landscapes. Alright, now that you've got a taste of the magic, let's set sail to our first wonder. Places 1. Palawan, the last frontier. If paradise had an address, it might be Palawan. Imagine soaring over emerald mountains that crumble into white sand beaches, while coral reefs stretch like living rainbows under turquoise seas. Palawan isn't just one island, it's a chain of wild beauty that has been called the last frontier of the Philippines. But Palawan isn't just pretty, it's ancient. Scientists discovered a 47,000-year-old human fossil here, proving that humans have lived in Palawan since the Ice Age. You could say this island has been paradise since before paradise had a name. One of its crown jewels is El Nido, a place where limestone cliffs rise like jagged teeth from crystal-clear lagoons. Imagine kayaking through waters so clear that you can see fish darting beneath your paddle, while towering cliffs echo your laughter back to you. Then there's Puerto Princesa Underground River, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Floating through its pitch-dark caves, you'll feel as if the earth has swallowed you whole, and yet, it's oddly serene. Stalactites drip from the ceiling like chandeliers carved by time itself.
Some travelers swear the silence in there feels holy, almost like a cathedral beneath the earth. And for divers, Tabataha reefs are a pilgrimage site. A UNESCO Marine World Heritage Wonder, it's like swimming through a living, breathing universe of coral, sharks, and sea turtles. Some even say it's the Galapagos of Asia. Palawan isn't just a place, it's a heartbeat of untouched beauty. It's what Earth looks like when you let it dream freely. Place 2. Bano Rice Terraces, the stairway to the sky. Now let's leave the coasts and climb into the mountains of northern Luzon. Here, carved into the rugged Cordillera Mountains, lie the Bano Rice Terraces, a sight so mesmerizing that locals call it the stairway to heaven. Over 2,000 years ago, the indigenous Ifugao people sculpted these terraces by hand, stone by stone, mud by mud, using no modern machines. If stretched end to end, these terraces would circle half the globe. Imagine that, a farming system so vast, you could walk halfway around the earth on rice paddies. But what makes it more magical is the philosophy behind it. The Ifugao didn't just carve terraces, they carved harmony with nature. Water from the mountaintops flows down like lifeblood, nourishing every level, like a symphony between man and earth. Standing there at sunrise, when mist curls through the paddies and sunlight paints them gold, you don't just see farmland, you see civilization as poetry. And if you're lucky enough to talk with the Ifugao elders, you'll learn how each terrace is not just land, it's memory. Passed down for millennia, their songs, rituals, and myths are still woven into these fields. The Bano Rice Terraces aren't just agriculture, they're a living, breathing manuscript of human endurance and respect for the land. Place 3. Chocolate Hills, Nature's Sweet Mystery. Travel deeper into the island of Bohol, and you'll stumble upon a landscape that looks like it belongs in a fantasy novel, or perhaps on another planet. Over 1,200 perfectly cone-shaped hills rise from the earth, spread across the land like giant scoops of ice cream. And when the dry season hits, their lush green grass turns brown, making them resemble rows of chocolate kisses. Welcome to the Chocolate Hills, a natural wonder so surreal that geologists, locals, and storytellers all have different ideas of how they came to be. Science suggests they were once part of ancient coral reefs, uplifted over millions of years and then sculpted by rain and erosion. But local folklore tells a sweeter, and perhaps sadder, story. One tale speaks of two giants who hurled boulders at each other during a massive quarrel. When they finally made peace, they left the battlefield, but the stones remained, turning into the Chocolate Hills. Another legend tells of a giant who wept for a lost love, and his tears hardened into these brown mounds of sorrow. Climbing to the viewing deck, especially at dawn, is an experience that feels otherworldly. Imagine the rising sun washing over wave after wave of chocolate-colored domes, stretching endlessly into the horizon. It's as if Earth herself decided to sculpt a work of art, then wrapped it in myth just to keep us wondering. In the modern age of skyscrapers and glass towers, places like the Chocolate Hills remind us that nature's architecture will always remain undefeated. Place 4. Vigan, the Time Machine City. If the Chocolate Hills feel like stepping into a fairy tale, Vigan feels like stepping into a time machine. Nestled on the northwest coast of Luzon, Vigan is one of the oldest surviving Spanish colonial towns in Asia, and walking its cobblestone streets is like watching history breathe. Imagine horse-drawn carriages rattling past pastel-colored ancestral houses with red-tiled roofs. Street lamps flicker with warm yellow glows, and balconies are adorned with Kapai shell windows that sparkle like pearls. Vigan isn't a reconstruction, it's the real thing. A living city where Spanish, Chinese, and Filipino cultures melted together to form something unique. Declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Vigan's charm lies not only in its architecture but also in its soul. Visit during the day, and you'll find silversmiths hammering jewelry, potters shaping clay the old-fashioned way, and weavers creating able loco textiles on wooden looms, crafts passed down through generations. Visit at night, and Calle Crisologo glows with an almost cinematic beauty, as if you've walked onto the set of a historical epic. But what truly makes Vigan fascinating is its duality. It's not just a relic, it's alive. Families still live in centuries-old mansions, kids still play on those cobblestones, and the scent of empanadas and longanisa sausages wafts through the air. It's history, not trapped in museums, but still cooking, laughing, and breathing. In Vigan, you don't just see the past, you walk through it. And in doing so, you realize that history is not gone. It's right here, waiting to shake your hand. Place 5. Mayon Volcano, the perfect cone. If you were to draw a volcano as a child, chances are you'd sketch a simple, perfect triangle. And somewhere in the Philippines, that drawing exists in real life. Meet Mayon Volcano, the most perfectly symmetrical volcano on Earth. Located in Albay Province, Mayon rises over 8,000 feet high, its slopes tapering into a flawless cone that looks too precise to be natural. But don't let its beauty fool you. Mayon is one of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines, having erupted more than 50 times in the last 400 years. For locals, Mayon is not just a volcano, it's a living spirit. Legends say a forbidden love story between a warrior and a princess ended in tragedy here, and the mountain rose as a tomb for their eternal embrace. Some even say that when Mayon erupts, it's the lovers expressing their sorrow or passion. And yet, despite its dangers, Mayon is mesmerizing. Travelers climb its slopes for sunrise views, where clouds swirl around the peak like a crown. Photographers flock here because Mayon seems to change personality every hour, sometimes glowing red with lava, sometimes cloaked in mist, sometimes painted gold by the setting sun. Standing before Mayon, you realize something profound. Nature doesn't always create chaos. Sometimes, it creates perfection. And perfection, it seems, always comes with a price. Place 6. Siargao, the surfing capital of the Philippines. Now, let's ride a different kind of wave. On the eastern edge of Mindanao lies Siargao, a teardrop-shaped island that has quietly become the surfing capital of the Philippines. Here, waves crash like thunder, and the ocean becomes a playground for adventurers. The most famous wave is Cloud 9, a powerful barrel that lures surfers from across the globe. Watching them balance on those roaring walls of water is like watching humans dance with the ocean itself. But Siargao isn't just for surfers. This island is a hidden Eden. Think lagoon pools in Subba Lagoon, where you can paddle through emerald waters surrounded by limestone cliffs. Or the Magpupunco rock pools, natural swimming holes that appear only at low tide, shimmering like sapphire gems carved into stone. Siargao has also become a hub for eco-conscious travelers. Unlike other tourist hotspots, the community here is fiercely protective of its environment. Plastic bans, sustainable guest houses, and conservation efforts are part of daily life. It's not just paradise, it's a paradise determined to stay that way. And perhaps the best part? Siargao still feels raw, authentic, and personal. In the evenings, you might find yourself sitting at a beach bonfire with strangers who quickly become friends, the stars above reflecting on waves that never stop rolling in. Place 7. Coron, the shipwreck wonderland. If Siargao is for surfers, then Coron, another jewel of Palawan, is for divers with a thirst for adventure. Beneath its turquoise waters lie some of the best preserved World War II shipwrecks in the world. In September 1944, U.S. forces bombed a fleet of Japanese warships hiding in Coron Bay. Today, those sunken vessels rest silently beneath the waves, transformed into underwater museums. Divers glide through ghostly corridors where cannons are overgrown with corals, and fish dart through broken windows once used by sailors. But Coron isn't only about wrecks. Above water, it's a landscape carved from dreams. Kayangan Lake, often called the cleanest lake in the Philippines, is a surreal vision, emerald waters cradled between jagged limestone cliffs. Locals believe the spirits of their ancestors still guard these waters, and when you swim here, you'll feel an almost sacred stillness wrapping around you. Coron is the kind of place where history and nature merge, where tragedy has transformed into beauty, and where the past whispers through every ripple in the water. Place 8. Baton's, the edge of the world. Far north, closer to Taiwan than to Manila, lies a group of islands that feel like stepping into another dimension. Welcome to Baton's, the Philippines' northernmost province, often described as the land of the true, the good, and the beautiful. Here, rolling green hills crash into cliffs that dive into roaring seas. Stone houses with thick walls stand strong against typhoons, built by the Ivatan people, whose resilience is as legendary as their kindness. Walking through Baton's feels like wandering through Ireland or New Zealand, yet with a Filipino soul. You'll see cows grazing on hilltops, lighthouses standing guard against storms, and roads so empty you'll feel like you're at the edge of the world. But Baton's isn't just scenery, it's philosophy. Life here is slow, communal, and deeply respectful of nature. The Ivatan live by the concept of kapwa, a shared identity that emphasizes empathy and cooperation. In Baton's, doors are often left unlocked, and honesty boxes for food stalls prove how deeply trust runs in this community. It's rare in our modern world to find a place so pure, where nature and humanity live not as competitors, but as companions. Baton's is that rare place. Place 9. Tall Volcano and Lake, the inception of volcanoes. We mentioned it earlier in the fun facts, but Tall Volcano deserves its own spotlight. Why? Because it's not just a volcano, it's a volcano inside a lake, inside a volcano, inside a larger lake. It's like geological inception. Located just a short drive from Manila, Tall is deceptively small, but it's one of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines. Its eruptions have reshaped the land for centuries, and yet people keep returning, drawn by its beauty and mystery. Trekking to the crater, you'll find a lake shimmering inside it. Yes, a lake inside a volcano. And in that lake? A tiny island. It's like nature played Russian dolls with geography. But beyond its quirks, Tall is a reminder of the Philippines' fiery heart. This is a land built not just by time, but by fire and ash. And yet, around its slopes, life thrives, fishermen casting nets, farmers tilling soil, communities living in the shadow of danger with unshakable spirit. Tall is not just a marvel of geology, it's a lesson in resilience. Place 10. Cebu, the Queen City of the South. We end our journey in Cebu, the beating heart of the Visayas, often called the Queen City of the South. Cebu is where history and modernity dance together. It was here in 1521 that Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan planted the first cross of Christianity in the Philippines. Today, that cross still stands, surrounded by centuries of devotion. But Cebu is far more than history. Its waterfalls cascading like silver curtains in places like Kawasan Falls, where turquoise pools invite you to swim under rainforest canopies. It's Malapascua Island, home to the rare thresher shark, where divers from around the world gather for encounters you can't find anywhere else. It's also Sinulog Festival, one of the most vibrant cultural celebrations in Asia, where streets explode with colors, drums, and dancing that seem to shake the earth itself. Cebu embodies everything about the Philippines. It's layered, alive, complex, and endlessly captivating. So, what have we uncovered on this journey? From the pristine frontier of Palawan to the time-carved terraces of Banao, from the surreal chocolate hills to the edge-of-the-world purity of Batons, the Philippines is not just a destination, it's a revelation. It's proof that beauty can come in many forms, in landscapes shaped by fire and water, in traditions shaped by history, and in people shaped by resilience and joy. And perhaps the greatest wonder of the Philippines isn't the volcanoes, or the beaches, or even the hidden lakes. It's the Filipino spirit, warm, welcoming, unbreakable, and always ready with a smile. So, the next time you dream of traveling, don't just think of Paris, or Bali, or Rome. Think of the Philippines, a place where nature is wild, history is alive, and every island feels like a story waiting to be told. Because in the end, the Philippines isn't just a place you visit, it's a place you feel. And once it touches you, it never leaves.
Imagine a land where the sun sometimes refuses to set, where jagged cliffs plunge into sapphire-blue fjords, and where tiny red cottages cling to mountainsides that look like they were painted straight out of a fairy tale. This is Norway, a country that feels less like a destination on Earth and more like a gateway to another dimension. Today, we are going to travel together, deep into Norway, not through postcards or travel brochures, but through vivid storytelling, secrets, and surprises that will make you see the Scandinavian jewel with fresh eyes. Before we dive into the places, let's start with a few surprising facts about Norway that most people don't know. Fun facts about Norway. Fact number 1. The midnight sun and polar night. In the far north of Norway, the sun doesn't set for months in summer, and in winter, it doesn't rise at all. Imagine sipping coffee at 2 a.m. while the sun still glows above the horizon. Fact number 2. Norway actually owns part of Antarctica. Yes, you heard that right. Few realize that Norway claims a chunk of Antarctica called Queen Maud Land. Talk about global reach for such a small country. Fact number 3. the world's largest sovereign wealth fund thanks to oil and smart investments. Norway has the biggest financial safety net on the planet, meaning technically, every citizen is a millionaire. Fact number 4. Viking DNA still strong. Modern Norwegians are direct descendants of Vikings, and some coastal communities still preserve shipbuilding traditions that go back over 1,000 years. Fact number 5. Tunnels. Everywhere, Norway has over 1,000 tunnels. Some go under mountains, some beneath fjords, and one even spirals like a corkscrew to get you down a steep slope. It's like driving through Middle-earth. Place number 1, Gjørangerfjord, the cinematic heart of Norway. Our first stop is Gjørangerfjord, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that looks like a scene crafted by the gods themselves. Picture towering cliffs rising from emerald waters, with waterfalls cascading down like silver ribbons. It's the kind of place that makes Hollywood directors jealous, and it has, in fact, appeared in films like Frozen and Mission Impossible. But what makes Gjørangerfjord so special isn't just its beauty, it's the way it feels alive. Locals say the waterfalls have personalities. There's the 7 sisters, 7 streams falling side by side, whispering legends of 7 unmarried sisters. Across the fjord is the Suter, a single, powerful fall, forever chasing them. The fjord is also a story of resilience. Perched on steep cliffs are old farmhouses, where families once lived, surviving harsh winters by clinging to the mountainside. Today, you can hike up to some of these spots and imagine what life was like. No cars, no roads, just raw nature. When you sail through Gjørangerfjord, it's not just a sightseeing trip. It's like stepping into a living myth, a place where nature and storytelling collide so perfectly that you start to believe in magic again. Place number 2, Lofoten Islands, a dream in the Arctic. Next, let's journey far north to the Lofoten Islands, a chain of rugged peaks rising out of the Arctic Ocean, crowned with fishing villages painted in reds, yellows, and whites. This place is surreal, almost like Norway decided to create a masterpiece and hung it just below the Arctic Circle. Here's what makes Lofoten extraordinary. Even though it lies so far north, the Gulf Stream blesses it with surprisingly mild weather. You can stand on a white sand beach, watch turquoise waves crash, and behind you, see jagged snow-covered peaks. It feels impossible, like 2 different worlds stitched together. The islands are also soaked in Viking history. Archaeologists discovered the largest Viking longhouse ever found in Norway here, a 272-foot hall where chieftains once feasted and plotted raids. Today, you can step inside a reconstruction and hear echoes of that wild past. But maybe the most magical part of Lofoten is the sky. In winter, it dances with auroras, curtains of green and purple light rippling above the mountains. In summer, the midnight sun hovers low, painting everything in gold for hours on end. Artists, photographers, and dreamers come here not just to capture the view, but to feel something deeper, a sense that you are standing at the edge of the world, where time slows and wonder takes over. Place number 3, the Atlantic Ocean Road, Norway's highway. Imagine driving a road that feels like it was never meant for cars, but for dreams. This is the Atlantic Ocean Road, an 3-kilometer stretch of highway that twists and curves across tiny islands, leaping from one stone outcrop to the next, like stepping stones thrown across the ocean by giants. At first glance, it looks impossible. Waves crash violently against its sides, spray leaping so high it sometimes slaps the windshield. Storms roll in from the Atlantic, and when you're out there on the road, you feel small, like you're daring the ocean itself to swallow you. But on calm days, it's pure poetry. The road curves gracefully, with the famous Storsundit Bridge rising like a serpent, bending dramatically into the horizon. For photographers, it's a masterpiece. For drivers, it's a thrill. And for Norwegians, it's more than just infrastructure. It's a symbol of how humans can build with nature, not against it. Here's a surprising detail. This road was never meant to be a tourist attraction. It was built in the 1980s as a practical connection between communities cut off by the sea. But once it was finished, it became clear this was no ordinary road. National Geographic even named it the world's best road trip. You can stop at viewpoints, feel the raw Atlantic spray on your face, and if you're lucky, even spot whales breaching in the distance. The Atlantic Ocean Road isn't just a drive. It's a conversation between man and nature. Every curve, every bridge feels like a reminder that adventure is often found where the road dares to meet the unknown. Place number 4, the staved churches, Norway's wooden cathedrals. Norway is often celebrated for its landscapes, but tucked within those valleys and forests are treasures just as breathtaking: the staved churches. These are wooden cathedrals that date back to the Middle Ages, built entirely from timber, yet standing strong for nearly 1,000 years. The most famous is Borgen Stave Church, built around the year 1180. At first sight, it looks like something out of a fantasy novel. Dark wooden walls, steep pitched roofs layered like dragon scales, and carvings of serpents and Viking motifs twisting around the doorways. It's as if Norse mythology and Christianity merged into one building. The name stave comes from the massive wooden posts, staves, that hold up the structure. What's incredible is how advanced these builders were. They designed them without nails, using joinery techniques that allowed the wood to expand and contract with the seasons. That's why they're still standing after centuries of snow, storms, and time. But what makes them haunting is the atmosphere. Step inside, and you're greeted by flickering shadows, the smell of aged pine, and a silence so deep you can almost hear the prayers of those who knelt here hundreds of years ago. Unlike European stone cathedrals, which soar into the sky, stave churches feel more intimate, more earthy, a reminder that spirituality here was tied to the forests, to nature itself. There's also mystery. Some believe the dragon carvings weren't just decoration, but protection against evil spirits, a leftover from the Viking belief in magical guardians. Scholars debate whether these churches were built on top of old pagan sites, as if Christianity had to grow from the roots of Norse traditions. Visiting one today is like traveling through time. You don't just see history. You feel it in the wood beneath your fingertips, in the creak of the floorboards, and in the way sunlight filters through the small windows, illuminating centuries of devotion. The stave churches remind us of Norway's soul, a place where the wild and the sacred are never far apart. Place number 5, Jostedalsbreen Glacier, the ancient river of ice. In the heart of Norway lies something ancient, something alive, something that feels almost sentient: Jostedalsbreen Glacier. This is the largest glacier in continental Europe, a frozen giant stretching nearly 500 square kilometers. It's icy, arms spilling down into valleys like rivers made of time itself. Walking toward the glacier is an experience that can leave you speechless. You start in green valleys, with sheep grazing lazily and wildflowers swaying in the breeze. But as you climb, the air changes. It gets sharper, colder, as if the mountain is whispering secrets of another era. And then, suddenly, you see it, a wall of blue ice, glowing like crystal under the sun. What's fascinating is that this glacier is not static. It moves. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the ice creeps forward, reshaping the land, carving valleys, and leaving behind stories written in rock. Scientists call glaciers time machines because trapped within their layers are bubbles of ancient air, preserving a snapshot of Earth's atmosphere thousands of years ago. When you stand here, you're not just looking at ice. You're looking at history frozen in place. But the glacier is also a reminder of fragility. Climate change is eating away at its edges. Locals tell stories of how far the glacier once stretched and how much it has retreated within a single lifetime. Visiting Jostedalsbreen feels both awe-inspiring and bittersweet, like meeting a wise old elder whose days are numbered. Still, the experience is unforgettable. You can join guided walks onto the ice itself, crampons crunching under your boots, as you descend into crevasses that glow neon blue like portals into another dimension. Some even say that standing inside those ice caves feels like being in the belly of the earth, quiet, cold, and eternal. Breen isn't just a glacier. It's a mirror, reflecting both the endurance of nature and the impermanence of our time. Place number 6, Troms, the gateway to the Northern Lights. Now, let's journey far north, into a city where night skies turn into a theater of cosmic wonder. Tromsø, often called the gateway to the Arctic, is one of the best places on Earth to witness the aurora borealis, the Northern Lights. Imagine this. You're standing on a snowy hillside just outside the city. The air is so cold that your breath hangs like smoke. And then it begins. A faint green ribbon stretches across the horizon, like someone painted the sky with a brush of light. Then it grows, rippling, twisting, dancing. Suddenly, the entire heavens explode in color. Green, purple, pink, shifting and weaving like curtains in a cosmic ballet. The Sami people, the indigenous inhabitants of northern Norway, had their own traditions, treating the lights with deep respect, believing they were powerful spirits not to be mocked or disturbed. But Tromsø is more than just a stage for the auroras. It's a city of contrasts. By day, you can wander colorful wooden houses, visit the Arctic Cathedral with its striking modern design, or take a cable car up Mount Storsteinen for panoramic views of fjords and snow-dusted peaks. By night, you're chasing lights that remind you of how small we are, and yet, how deeply connected we are to the universe. Here's a little-known detail. Tromsø is also home to one of the world's most advanced research centers for studying the aurora. You're surrounded by snow, the auroras swirling above, and all you hear is the crunch of your boots and the beating of your heart. It's not just a sight. It's an experience that sinks into your soul, reminding you that Earth itself is alive and full of wonder. Place number 7, the Valley of Gudvangen, Norway's Viking village. If you ever dreamed of stepping straight into a Viking saga, Gudvangen is where that dream becomes real. Nestled deep within the narrow Fjord, itself a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Gudvangen is a valley so dramatic it feels like the mountains themselves are guarding it like stone sentinels. The name Gudvangen translates to the field of the gods, and when you arrive, you understand why. Towering cliffs loom on both sides, waterfalls tumble down like silver threads, and mist lingers in the morning air, making the whole place feel touched by the divine. But Gudvangen isn't just about scenery. Here, history lives and breathes. At night, when the valley grows quiet, you can look up at a sky freckled with stars and imagine what it was like for a Viking farmer, standing in the same spot 1,000 years ago, praying to the gods that the fjord would protect his family. Gudvangen is more than a place. It's a portal, a reminder that the Viking spirit isn't locked in dusty museums, but still flows like blood in Norway's veins. Place number 8, Rost Islands, the Kingdom of Birds. Now let's travel to the very edge of Norway, far out in the Lofoten archipelago, to a place most tourists never reach, the Rost Islands. Out here, where the land dissolves into the Atlantic, you find one of the greatest natural spectacles on Earth, a kingdom ruled not by people, but by birds. Rost is home to millions, yes, millions of seabirds. Puffins with their comical beaks, kittiwakes screaming in chorus, cormorants drying their wings like dark crosses against the sky. The cliffs of Vidoy and Storfjellet thunder with life, as thousands of wings beat the air at once, creating a sound that feels like nature's own symphony. But the star of the show is the puffin. These little birds, with their clumsy takeoffs and cartoonish looks, are beloved symbols of the North Atlantic. It's a reminder that even the most isolated places can shape the wider world. Standing on Rost, surrounded by cries of seabirds and endless ocean, you feel two things at once: the wild chaos of life and the humbling truth of being small in a much larger cycle. Place number 9, the Fulm Railway, a train through a fairy tale. There are train rides, and then there's the Flam Railway, often called one of the most beautiful train journeys in the world. This short, 1-hour ride covers just 20 kilometers, but every moment feels like a scene from a fantasy novel. The journey begins in the tiny village of Flam, tucked at the innermost point of the Orleans Fjord. From there, the train begins its climb, 867 meters up into the mountains, winding through 20 tunnels, past waterfalls, rivers, and valleys that look like they were painted with a divine hand. Here's something that makes it unforgettable. As the train passes Kjosfossen waterfall, it actually stops, and out of the mist, a figure appears, a dancer dressed as a huldra, a forest spirit from Norwegian folklore. On this railway, legends don't just live in books, they appear right before your eyes. The Flam Railway isn't just transportation, it's storytelling in motion, a journey where each bend of the track feels like turning a page in a fairy tale. Place number 10, the North Cape, standing at the edge of the world. And now, for our final destination, we go as far north as you can travel in Europe by car, to the North Cape, Nordkap. Imagine standing on a 1,000-foot cliff, waves of the Arctic Ocean crashing far below, nothing between you and the North Pole but endless icy sea. This is not just a place on a map. It feels like the edge of the earth itself. The North Cape has drawn explorers and dreamers for centuries. In summer, you stand here at midnight with the sun still shining, glowing low on the horizon, never dipping below the sea. The world feels suspended in golden twilight. In winter, the North Cape is swallowed by polar night, the sky dark for weeks, sometimes illuminated only by the northern lights swirling overhead. There's also symbolism here. For many travelers, reaching Nordkap isn't just another stop. It's an achievement, a moment of reflection. You are standing at a threshold where land ends and mystery begins. And perhaps the most powerful part is the silence. Despite tourists and cameras, there are moments when the wind drops, and all you hear is the distant roar of the ocean below. In that silence, you feel small, but in the best way, like you are part of something infinite. The North Cape is not just the end of Norway, it's the end of Europe, the end of certainty, and the beginning of wonder. So, what is Norway? Really? Is it fjords carved by glaciers? Is it the northern lights dancing over silent forests? Is it Viking sagas, stave churches, or birds swirling over ocean cliffs? The truth is, Norway is all of these things, but also something more. It is a land where nature and story are inseparable, where every waterfall has a legend, every mountain carries a memory, and every light in the sky feels like a message from the universe. For travelers, Norway is not just a destination. It's a reminder that the world is still vast, still magical, still filled with places that can take your breath away. It's proof that even in our modern age, there are corners of the earth where mystery lives on. Because when you leave, you don't just carry photographs. You carry stories of fjords and ice, of spirits and stars, of standing at the edge of the world and realizing that wonder is not rare. It is everywhere, if you only know where to look. Imagine a land where fairy tale castles rise above misty forests, where bustling cities sit alongside medieval villages frozen in time, and where every corner feels like a story waiting to be told. Germany isn't just a country in the heart of Europe. It's a living museum, a stage for history, innovation, and breathtaking landscapes that will make you question whether you've stepped into a dream. But here's the twist. While most people know Germany for Oktoberfest, beer, or the Berlin Wall, very few truly understand the depth of its wonders. This is a place where legends of dragons still whisper through the valleys, where technology blends seamlessly with centuries-old traditions, and where each destination has a secret that will surprise even the most seasoned traveler. Today, we're embarking on a cinematic journey across Germany, uncovering its most fascinating places, each more magical than the last. By the end, you won't just want to visit Germany. You'll feel like you've already walked through its enchanted forests, stood on its castle balconies, and wandered its cobbled streets. Before we dive into the best places, let's warm up with a few surprising facts about Germany that will completely change the way you see this country. Fun facts about Germany. Fact number 1. The forest nation, nearly 1/3 of Germany, is covered in forest. Yes, 1 out of every 3 steps you take could land you under a canopy of ancient pines or beech trees. This explains why so many of the Brothers Grimm fairy tales, Hansel and Gretel, Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood, were set in deep, mysterious woods. The landscape isn't just real. It inspired some of the world's greatest stories. Fact number 2, a country without a speed limit. Germany's Autobahn is legendary. Unlike anywhere else in the world, certain stretches have no official speed limit. That means if your car can handle it, you can legally drive at 150 mph and beyond. But here's the fun part. Germans are incredibly disciplined drivers, which makes this high-speed freedom surprisingly safe compared to many other countries. Fact number 3. A land of castles. Germany has more than 20,000 castles and palaces. That's more than almost any other country on Earth. From ruins on mountaintops to fairy tale residences still in use today, these castles tell stories of knights, kings, and empires that shaped not just Germany but the entire world. Fact number 4. Beer laws older than the USA. Germany's famous beer purity law, the Reinheitsgebot, dates back to 1516, making it older than the United States itself. This law limited beer ingredients to just water, barley, and hops, ensuring a pure, consistent brew. To this day, it's one of the reasons German beer tastes so timeless. Fact number 5. The hidden soundtrack of the world. Many of the world's greatest composers, Beethoven, Bach, Wagner, Brahms, were German. If you've ever felt goosebumps listening to a symphony or film score, chances are you've been touched by Germany's cultural heartbeat. Even Hollywood soundtracks today often trace their roots back to German musical genius. Fact number 6. A green superpower. Germany is one of the global leaders in renewable energy. It's not just castles and old cathedrals. It's also solar panels, wind farms, and futuristic urban planning. In fact, Germany has days where nearly all of its electricity comes from renewable sources. Imagine that. The same land that preserves medieval history is also leading the way into the future. Place number 1. Neuschwanstein Castle, the fairy tale dream. If Germany had a crown jewel, it would be Neuschwanstein Castle. Perched dramatically on a rugged hill in Bavaria, this castle looks so magical that you might think it was dreamed up by a Disney animator. And in fact, it was. The Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland was directly inspired by Neuschwanstein. But the real story behind this wonder is even more fascinating. Built in the 19th century by King Ludwig II, often called the fairy tale king, Neuschwanstein wasn't actually constructed for defense, but for dreams. Ludwig was obsessed with mythology, opera, and beauty. He wanted a place where he could escape into a fantasy world of knights and legends, far away from the politics of his time. Walking through its halls, you don't find cold stone dungeons or battle gear. You find rooms painted with Wagnerian operas, golden ceilings depicting medieval romances, and balconies overlooking valleys that seem to go on forever. It's a castle not of war, but of imagination. And here's the haunting part. Ludwig barely lived in it. Shortly after the castle was built, he was declared mentally unfit to rule and mysteriously died under suspicious circumstances. Some say his own government wanted him gone. To this day, his death remains an unsolved mystery, adding a layer of legend to Neuschwanstein's already dreamy presence. For travelers, the best time to see it is during autumn, when the surrounding Bavarian Alps explode in orange and red hues. Standing there, You feel like you've stepped not just into a castle, but into a living painting. Place number 2, the Black Forest, Germany's enchanted wilderness. Now, let's leave the world of castles and step into a place straight out of myth, the Black Forest. Stretching across southwest Germany, this dense, shadowy woodland is the very forest where Hansel and Gretel were abandoned, where witches brewed their spells, and where wolves lurked in folklore. But beyond the stories, the Black Forest is a region of astonishing natural beauty. Towering pines and firs create a canopy so thick that sunlight barely filters through. Mist often hangs low in the valleys, giving the landscape a mysterious glow, especially at dawn. It's not just about hiking or taking Instagram-perfect photos. Villages here still carry centuries-old traditions. In fact, the famous cuckoo clock was invented in the Black Forest. Imagine wandering into a workshop where artisans still carve wooden timepieces by hand, a craft passed down through generations. And if you think this is just rustic countryside, think again. The Black Forest is also home to Baden-Baden, a luxurious spa town where Roman emperors once bathed in thermal springs. Today, celebrities and travelers alike come here to soak in mineral-rich waters, blending ancient relaxation with modern indulgence. The food is just as legendary. Have you ever heard of Black Forest cake? Layers of chocolate sponge, whipped cream, and cherries? It was born right here, inspired by the cherry liqueur made in this region. Eating it in the Black Forest itself isn't just dessert. It's experiencing the flavor of a land. The Black Forest is more than just a forest. It's a living fairy tale. When you walk its trails, you realize that the stories of witches and goblins weren't just made up. They were born from landscapes so enchanting the human imagination had no choice but to turn them into legends. Place number 3, Berlin, where history and modernity collide. Berlin isn't just a city. It's a storybook written in stone, steel, and graffiti. Every corner tells a tale of triumph, tragedy, and rebirth. Unlike other capitals polished with centuries of uninterrupted splendor, Berlin wears its scars with pride. It's raw, edgy, and alive. To walk through Berlin is to walk through time. One moment, you're standing before the Brandenburg Gate, a neoclassical triumphal arch that once symbolized division during the Cold War. Just steps away, you can touch the remnants of the Berlin Wall, graffiti-covered slabs that once split not just a city, but the world into East and West. But Berlin is not a city trapped in the past. It thrives on reinvention. Abandoned factories have become nightclubs. War-damaged buildings now house art galleries. The Reichstag, once set on fire during Hitler's rise to power, now features a futuristic glass dome designed by architect Norman Foster, symbolizing transparency in government. It's history reimagined, not erased. And Berlin's vibe? Unlike Paris or Rome, it doesn't try to impress you with beauty. Instead, it draws you in with grit and creativity. Street art covers entire neighborhoods like Kreuzberg and Friedrichshain. At night, Berlin's legendary clubs like Berghain become temples of music, attracting DJs and partygoers from across the globe. Yet, amidst the energy, Berlin also invites reflection. The Holocaust Memorial, a haunting field of 2,711 concrete slabs, forces you to confront the weight of human history. It's a city that doesn't let you forget, but also one that shows you how to rise again, stronger and freer than before. Berlin is not just Germany's capital. It's a living canvas of resilience, creativity, and rebirth. Visiting Berlin is like opening a diary where every page is stained with tears, laughter, and hope. Place number 4, the Romantic Road, a journey through time. Now imagine trading Berlin's buzzing energy for something completely different. A road trip through medieval villages, storybook towns, and vineyards that look as if they were painted by hand. Welcome to the Romantic Road, one of Germany's most enchanting journeys. Stretching nearly 220 miles through Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg, the Romantic Road isn't just a route, it's a time machine. Driving along, it feels like flipping through centuries of European history. Take Rothenburg ob der Tauber, for instance. This walled medieval town looks almost too perfect to be real. Cobbled streets wind past half-timber houses, lantern-lit alleys, and squares where locals still celebrate centuries-old festivals. At night, a town watchman in cloak and hat still guides visitors on torchlit tours, telling ghost stories that sound like they've been whispered for 500 years. The romantic road isn't about speed, it's about slowing down. Stopping at little bakeries where pretzels are warm from the oven. Watching the sun set over rolling vineyards. Listening to church bells echo through valleys where time seems to stand still. For an American traveler, the romantic road feels like stepping into the pages of a Brothers Grimm storybook. Only here, the castles, towns, and legends are real. Place number 5. The Rhine Valley, Germany's legendary river. If Germany were a song, the Rhine River would be its melody. Timeless, flowing, and filled with stories. Stretching for more than 760 miles, the Rhine has been the lifeline of Germany for centuries. But the stretch that truly captures hearts lies between Koblenz and Bingen, the upper middle Rhine Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Here, the river winds through steep vineyards, medieval towns, and more castles than you can count. Literally over 40 of them packed into just 40 miles. Each castle has a story. Some were toll stations that made medieval lords rich. Others became the stage for legendary romances and battles. One of the most famous tales is that of the Lorelei Rock. Rising dramatically from the riverbank, this cliff inspired the legend of a siren who lured sailors to their doom with her beauty and song. Even today, standing at the base of Lorelei, with the river mist curling around the rocks, you can feel why such legends were born. But the Rhine isn't only about history, it's about life. Vineyards produce some of Germany's finest Riesling wines, crisp and sweet, shaped by the river's unique climate. Small villages like Bacharach and Rudesheim invite travelers to sip a glass of wine in centuries-old taverns while church bells ring in the distance. Cruising down the Rhine is like stepping into a moving painting. From the deck of a boat, you'll see castles perched high above, villages tucked into riverbanks, and hillsides glowing golden in autumn. It's a journey that feels both grand and intimate, as if the river is whispering secrets of Europe's past while carrying you into its present. For Americans used to the Mississippi or Colorado, the Rhine feels different. It's not just water. It's a story carved through the heart of Europe, flowing with myths, music, and memories. Place number 6, Cologne Cathedral, a Gothic masterpiece. From the serenity of the Rhine, we move to one of Germany's greatest architectural wonders, Cologne Cathedral. Rising like a pair of stone giants above the city, its twin spires dominate the skyline, visible from nearly every angle. This isn't just a church. It's a marvel that took over 6 centuries to complete. Construction began in 1248 and wasn't fully finished until 1880. Imagine generations upon generations working on the same structure, some never seeing its completion, yet dedicating their lives to its rise. Stepping inside, the sheer scale takes your breath away. Sunlight streams through stained glass windows that are taller than many American houses, casting colors across ancient stone pillars. The nave stretches endlessly, pulling your eyes upward as if the very architecture is guiding your spirit toward heaven. But what makes Cologne Cathedral truly special isn't just its size, it's its resilience. During World War II, Allied bombings devastated much of Cologne, yet the cathedral stood tall, scarred but unbroken. Surrounded by rubble, it became a symbol of endurance, faith, and hope for the German people. And then there's its most sacred treasure, the Shrine of the Three Kings. According to tradition, this golden reliquary holds the remains of the Magi, the wise men who followed the star to Bethlehem. Whether you believe in the relic or not, standing before it feels like touching the threads of history itself. Outside, the square buzzes with life. Street performers, musicians, and locals sipping Kolsch, Cologne's signature beer, in nearby taverns. It's a reminder that this cathedral isn't a frozen monument. It's part of a living, breathing city. Cologne Cathedral is more than stone and glass. It's a testament to human patience, devotion, and resilience. To stand beneath its spires is to understand what generations can build when they share a dream. Place number 7, Zugspitze, the roof of Germany. Every country has a place where the land seems to touch the sky. For Germany, that place is the Zugspitze. At nearly 10,000 feet, it's the tallest peak in the nation, straddling the border between Germany and Austria and offering some of the most breathtaking views in Europe. What makes Zugspitze so extraordinary isn't just its height. It's the way it reveals Germany from above. On a clear day, you can stand at the summit and see across 4 countries: Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy. The Alps stretch endlessly, their jagged peaks dusted with snow, like nature's own cathedral rising around you. Getting to the top is part of the adventure. You can hike through alpine trails, ride the cogwheel train that climbs through tunnels carved into the mountain, or take the dramatic cable car, the longest single-span cable car in the world that sweeps you across gorges before dropping you gently onto the summit. Each route feels like an epic journey in itself. At the peak, there's more than just the view. A golden cross marks the summit, glinting in the sun as mountaineers celebrate their climb. There's also a small village atmosphere up there, with restaurants, observation decks, and even a glacier where you can ski year-round. Imagine sipping hot chocolate at nearly V feet while looking down on clouds drifting below you. But Zugspitze isn't just a playground. It's also a reminder of nature's majesty. For centuries, local legends spoke of mountain spirits dwelling here, watching over the valleys. And when you stand at the summit, surrounded by silence, so vast it feels holy, you begin to understand why. For American travelers used to the Rockies, Zugspitze offers something different. It's not wild, untamed wilderness. It's a blend of raw alpine power and European charm. A place where adventure meets elegance, and where the sky feels close enough to touch. Place number 8, Dresden, the Phoenix City. From the majesty of the mountains, we move to a city that tells one of the most powerful stories of destruction and rebirth, Dresden. Known before World War II as the Florence of the Elbe, Dresden was a jewel of art, architecture, and culture. Palaces, churches, and theaters lined its streets, making it one of Europe's most beautiful cities. But in 1945, tragedy struck. Allied bombings devastated Dresden, reducing much of the city to rubble. Fires raged so intensely that they created a firestorm. Yet, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Dresden was rebuilt, not as a modern glass and steel city, but with painstaking dedication to its past. The Frauenkirche, a magnificent Baroque church, lay in ruins for decades. But after German reunification, locals launched an ambitious project to rebuild it stone by stone, using as much of the original material as possible. The Zwinger Palace, once a playground for Saxon royalty, has also been restored to its former glory. Walking through its gardens and galleries feels like stepping into an 18th century court. Inside, masterpieces by Raphael, Rembrandt, and Vermeer remind visitors of the cultural treasures Dresden fought to preserve. But Dresden isn't frozen in the past. It's alive with creativity. The Neustadt district bursts with street art, indie cafes, and a youthful energy that contrasts beautifully with the Baroque grandeur of the old town. At night, the Elbe River reflects the city lights, creating a scene so picturesque it feels almost surreal. Dresden is more than a city. It's a testament to resilience. To visit is to witness how beauty can be reborn, how scars can become symbols of strength, and how history, even when shattered, can be pieced back together into something more powerful than before. Place number 9, Hamburg, the gateway to the world. If Berlin is Germany's heart and Munich its soul, then Hamburg is its open door to the world. Located in the north, along the Elbe River, Hamburg is Europe's second largest port city, and it feels like a place where every road leads to the sea. But don't imagine an industrial shipping town. Hamburg is surprisingly elegant. Canals cut through the city like veins, giving it a charm that feels part Amsterdam, part Venice. In fact, Hamburg has more bridges than Venice, London, and Amsterdam combined, over 2,300 in total. At the center of it all lies the Speicherstadt, the largest warehouse district in the world. These red brick Gothic buildings rise dramatically along narrow canals, glowing golden at sunset. Today, they house museums, shops, and even coffee roasters, transforming what was once a working hub into a cultural gem. And then there's Miniature Wonderland, the world's largest model railway. But calling it a model train doesn't do it justice. It's a miniature universe with mountains, cities, airports, and even tiny planes that take off and land. For kids and adults alike, it's one of the most magical experiences in Germany. At night, Hamburg reveals another side. The Reeperbahn, the city's famous nightlife district, is packed with theaters, bars, and music clubs. It was here, in the 1960s, that a little band from Liverpool called the Beatles cut their teeth before taking the world by storm. Walking these streets is like tracing the roots of modern music. But perhaps the most enchanting view of Hamburg comes from the Elbphilharmonie, a concert hall shaped like a glass wave rising above the old harbor. Its design reflects both Hamburg's maritime heritage and its cultural ambition. From the rooftop plaza, you can watch ships glide along the Elbe, carrying stories from every corner of the globe. Hamburg isn't just a port, it's a bridge between Germany and the world, a city that thrives on openness, creativity, and the rhythm of the sea. Place number 10, Heidelberg, the city of romance. Our journey now takes us to Heidelberg, a city that feels like it was built for poets and dreamers. Nestled along the Neckar River and framed by rolling hills, Heidelberg has long been considered Germany's most romantic city. The crown jewel is Heidelberg Castle. Perched high above the old town, its ruins are a mix of Gothic and Renaissance architecture, partially destroyed by wars but still radiating a haunting beauty. At sunset, when the castle glows in shades of rose and gold, it looks like something out of a watercolor painting. But Heidelberg's charm isn't just in its castle, its university, the oldest in Germany. Mark Twain once stayed here, calling Heidelberg the last possibility of the beautiful. He even joked that Heidelberg students drank more beer than any people he had ever known. The old bridge, with its graceful arches, connects the town to the hills beyond. A stroll across it offers views that have inspired countless paintings and poems. At night, the bridge is lit softly, and the castle above seems to hover like a dream over the city. Heidelberg is also famous for its student traditions. In centuries past, dueling scars on the faces of young men were considered marks of honor. Today, the student taverns tell stories of wild debates, songs, and romances that shape Germany's intellectual life. What makes Heidelberg truly magical is its atmosphere. It's not the biggest or the grandest, but it's a city that touches the heart. When you walk through its cobbled streets, you feel like you're part of a love story, whether it's with history, with beauty, or simply with life itself. And so our journey through Germany comes to an end. From the fairy tale towers of Neuschwanstein to the dark enchantment of the Black Forest, from Berlin's scars of history to Dresden's phoenix-like rebirth, from the soaring Zugspitze to the flowing Rhine, and from Hamburg's global spirit to Heidelberg's timeless romance, Germany has revealed itself not just as a country, but as a world within a world. For American travelers, Germany offers something rare, a chance to step into stories you've only read in books, while also experiencing the cutting edge of art, music, and innovation. It's a place where imagination feels at home, and maybe that's the true wonder of Germany. It's not just about where you go, but how it makes you feel. Inspired, connected, dreaming. So, The next time you think of Germany, don't just picture beer steins or sausages. Picture misty castles, glowing cathedrals, mountain summits, and river valleys. Picture a land where fairy tales are real, where history is alive, and where every journey feels like a story worth telling. Because Germany is more than a destination. It's an experience that stays with you long after you've left its cobbled streets and castle walls behind.